first. All right. Just give me a second. Not sure why the live button disappeared. All right. It seems that we are live. Okay, just checking here, guys. Hopefully you can hear me. What is going on, guys? My name is Andres Martinez, and I'm here with my dear sister, Kathy McDougall, and it's just such a pleasure to have you here and to share some awesome gold and story and faith and an awesome mix of just like, who you are. So welcome to this little channel, this little platform here.
Oh, thank you so much, Andre. I'm so excited to be here with you. I know we had some technical issues last week, so I've been anxiously waiting
Me too.
our time together. So it's been great. So awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. That's awesome, guys. So yeah, by the way, guys, if you're watching this, like, give me a hashtag live just so more people can see it and we can share this goal with more people that need it, or hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. And yeah, Kathy, I just want to kind of give you the mic, give you the spotlight for a minute, and just so you can share a bit of like, your story and kind of where you come from. Yeah, just like share with us.
Oh, thanks, Andre. Yeah, so it's been a little bit of a journey, but 12 years ago, after a 30-year career in really public service and economic development and running chambers of commerces, I found myself on the front porch screaming at God, literally screaming at God, saying,
Wow.
what else do you want to take from me? Because in that 24-hour period, I'd lost everything. I lost a $9 million construction company that I was a partner in. My husband had left me with 61 cents in my checking account and 3 beautiful kids. And my partner was let off that morning in handcuffs. And so it created obviously a huge scandal, and my very public facing career path was not accessible to me anymore. So 20 years earlier, one of the first jobs I ever took was telemarketing for a hotel club. And I said, well, okay. And as it turns out, telemarketing was about the only job I could get, $7 an hour. It was a win. But
Yeah.
the but the really funny part was it was tele-fundraising for a political party that I didn't even belong to. But I did really good.
Yeah, hey, you were bringing value. Like, that's all it matters, right?
So I raised like $250,000 in the course of 4 months. I had a 26% closing rate, and I became a trainer for that company. So, yeah, God has a sense of humor.
Yeah, he definitely does. The best. Wow.
Yeah, but that job led to a job running a research department at a major university where we did health statistics over the phone. So we did surveys over the phone for the Centers for Disease Control here in the States. And so I had a staff of 235 people, and I took that from $300,000 organization to a $3 million organization,
Wow.
3 clients to 11 clients in 10 years. But, I can only number crunch for so long. And so I kind of stepped out and took a big chance, and I became an enrollment specialist with one of the major life coaching certification companies in the world. And in the course of that year, I did $1 million in sales, and with an average price point of about $16,000 roughly.
Oh, wow.
And they were 90% of that was a one-call close.
Wow.
And so, yeah, so I left there just a couple weeks ago. We're partnering with one of my wonderful colleagues who makes my numbers look pathetic. She's fantastic. And we are doing some enrollment coaching for other coaches, and how to do a strategy session, how to do it in the most effective way, what makes that work. And just, so I'm excited to share some key points with you guys today.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I love that story. Just so powerful how, like, through the pain, through the trials, it's like you found a new drive, a new calling, a new level of faith, right? Really reminds me of like the story of Job, that sometimes like things happen that you honestly did not expect, that it just kind of hits you and you're like you said, you're like, God, what else do you want to take from me? Because it's like it's so unpredictable, but yet through that comes like a new grace, right? Comes a new level of faith that all of a sudden you look back and you're like, wow, like it's crazy to say, but I'm thankful for those trials and I'm thankful for those times. And so I love that story is so powerful, like just testimony on that. And yeah, I love for you to share, yeah, some key points. Like I know you've been doing like thousands of calls probably in the last like few years or whatever it is. Like, yeah, tell us like what is it that makes like a powerful enrollment possible? What's kind of the framework? Like how do you handle it?
Yeah, so we have an 8-point system, and I want to give credit where credit is due. Rich Boggs and Jennifer Hernandez created this system, and they're fabulous, and they were my trainers. And so, but it really is, I'm going to cover the first 3 because they're things that are little, but they're overlooked. And sales, an enrollment call doesn't have to be ucky. It doesn't have to be salesy. It doesn't have to be something that you're nervous about or uncomfortable about, because honestly, if you're doing it well, it's just a conversation and it's just a coaching call.
Right.
It's just helping people say yes to their spiritual side, to the side of them that wants to grow more, do more, be more, live a better life. That's the side that's on the phone with you. And so that's the side that we want to speak into. And that's an entirely different side than the human side, which is going to give them 25 million reasons why your coaching program is too expensive, or why it's not going to work, or why it's not going to happen, or it might work for everybody but me, and all those things that our human side, just comes up with, all those paradigms that pop up. So the first step, which is often overlooked, is connecting. And, people I've had this experience where I've, got on a call with somebody who's an enrollment specialist, and they're like awkward in how they start the call, which makes me really feel awkward. And I can pretty much talk to anybody. I'm really good at this. So I'm like,
you're like, what's going on right now?
Like, can I help you? So, but really, really connect with that person. And some of the ways to do that are, obviously, if you know where they're calling from, just if you know anything about that area, talk about it. Or ask them the question, what's your favorite part about living in Toronto? Right. What's the best thing ever about living in Toronto? Have you lived there forever? Just really spend 2 or 3 minutes really having a great connection and authentically caring about what they're saying and authentically inquiring. This is not icing on the cake to kind of throw over and just go, oh, let me get through this part so I can get to my strategy session, so I can get to what I'm supposed to say, how I'm supposed to say it. But no. Really tap in. How are you? How you feeling? What brought you here today? How you feeling about this? I mean, how long is that? So really, really, really just connect. They have an interesting name. This is really important. Am I pronouncing your name correctly? I don't want to go through an hour-long call with you mispronouncing your name. So please tell me, am I pronouncing your name correctly? Yeah. Really just engage them. Ask them questions. Get them at ease. Get them connected to you. Like this is not a sales call. They know it's a sales call. They're not dumb.
Right.
They're calling a coaching group.
Of course.
They know this. Then tell them how the call is going to go. Okay? If they don't know what to expect, that human side is going to get wrapped up in the agenda.
Mhm.
And it's always going to be on guard for what's next.
Mhm.
Whereas if you tell them, listen, we're going to do we're going to do a quick inventory about where you are now. We're going to talk about where you would love to be. We'll talk about my program and how it works a little bit. And, and then, and this is very important, and then regardless of if you enroll or not, you're going to walk away with these 3 things. And whatever those things are, you're going to walk away with clarity. You're going to walk away with a better understanding of who, what you would love, whatever your promise is.
Right.
You're going to walk away with these 3 things that make this hour with me super valuable. And you're going to be glad you did it one way or the other.
That's right.
So really spend that time connecting.
Mhm.
If you don't spend that time connecting, they are going to have their guard up the entire rest of the call. And they will probably never actually tell you why they're on the phone with you.
Wow.
So super important. The second thing, and this is so hard for coaches because coaches are so heart-centered and they want to just love on people and take care of them and encourage them. And,
Right.
and they're just so that way. But you've really got to uncover the pain.
Yes.
And it's a gift. This is a gift to them. And it's a gift because they can't get anywhere if they don't have clarity on where their pain is.
That's huge. Just dropping
And
some like massive gold because like that's like huge.
if people don't understand, people are going to say, come into your strat, I'm just stuck. I just don't feel like I'm in my purpose. I'm losing all my, energy. Health coaches, oh, I gained 20 pounds. That's not the pain.
Right. Right.
If you're a health coach and somebody comes to you and I gained 20 pounds, the pain is I feel crappy about myself.
Right. Exactly.
My self-confidence is in the toilet.
Right. That's the pain.
So the pain is longing or discontent. Okay.
Mhm.
And again, this is all going to come from your spiritual side. Your
Wow.
spiritual side is good. If there is a longing or a discontent that has got them on that call with you, it is coming from the spiritual side. And it's their
Yes.
spiritual side knocking on the door of their human side going, you need to pay attention to me now. This is an issue. And if you don't address me right now, I'm going to come out sideways.
Mhm.
I am going to come out in some other area of your life that's going to be ugly.
Mhm.
So a longing is a lot of people in their 50s have a longing. They're like, that's the group that has maybe been successful in other areas that often says, I know there's some bigger purpose for me. I
Mhm.
know I'm supposed to have more impact in the world. I know I'm supposed to do something more. That's a longing. A discontent is something that is clearly not right. It's where the satisfaction tank is not 100% full. And I will tell you right now that getting somebody from good to great and moving them into is a lot harder than getting them from this. I'm a 2, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm a 2.
Mhm.
That 2 is going to be a lot easier to move than the person who's an 8.
Wow, that's powerful. Mhm.
But you have to get to the pain.
Mhm.
And the great way to do that is ask questions. How long what area was it coming out in for you right now? What area is it your health and well-being? Is it your physical health? Is it your vocation? Is it your relationships? Are your relationships going sideways? Is it your time, money, freedom?
Mhm.
Good to great people generally have a struggle in that time, money, freedom quadrant. They want more time, money, freedom to do the things that they love to do, to have the impact that they would love to have.
Right.
So that little area, whatever area it is, you're going to want to, you're going to want to jab it a little. How long has it been like that? How does that make you feel? Does it show up in other areas of your life?
Mm.
What happens if nothing changes in a year? That's really important. A year is a good benchmark for that question. If
Mm-hmm.
you ask 3 years, 90% of the people are going to say nothing. It's not going to be the same in 3 years.
It's hard to see it, right? When it's like
Yeah.
that long of a time frame. Like it's almost like most people can only see like, yeah, max 6, 12 months ahead, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So if you ask them 3 years, they know so nothing stays the same in 3 years. But if you ask them a year, they can understand that things might not change in a year.
Right.
And then, so how's that feel? How would that feel? And make them give you a feeling word.
Mm.
This is emotional.
Yes.
This is storytelling. So the pain is the thing that's going to move them out of their human side.
Right.
And so again, I know it's against our nature.
Yeah.
It's totally against our nature, but that's what's really going to move the needle.
Yes, you're right.
And then when you come back for for the the nitty gritty pieces of the enrollment conversation, you're going to pull that back in. Okay, so you don't step in with me, things don't change, and you're going to feel miserable. According to you, you're going to be miserable in a year. You're going to be frustrated, you're going to be whatever it is, but you're going to repeat their pain back to them in their own words.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's huge.
Super validating to put it in their own words. And and you're going to hear this is really fun. People are going to start popping up their objections because their human side is getting defensive.
Right, of
Their human
course.
side is going, oh no, no, no,
Yeah.
no.
All the
Oh, it's not
stories they've
gonna
been telling themselves. Yeah.
right. It's not gonna, it's not gonna change in a year. It's not. It's of course it's gonna change in a year. Of course. Okay, so what are you gonna do? If you're not gonna enroll with me, what are you gonna do? Well, I don't have time. Okay, well, yeah, things, but they'll start, and that's a great, great thing. And what makes it so conversational
Mm-hmm.
when you do this well is you're overcoming objections the entire conversation.
Yes.
Throughout the entire, in our case, an 8-step process, you're overcoming the objections as they come.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get to that money part and the quote unquote close, you're just repeating what they said to you already.
Right. You already been handling some of the big monsters throughout the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, and one of the great ways to do that is after this pain question and really digging into their pain is
Mm-hmm.
saying, so is now your time.
Mm.
Is now your time to do this, not tomorrow or next week or next month or next year. Is now your time.
It's now your time.
That objection is going to come up then in the front end of your conversation versus the back end of the conversation,
Mm-hmm.
where now their mind is really spinning because they've got all this, the money, the time, all the details. They've got
Right.
more facts to spin in their mind.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this, right now, you're just having a conversation. You're
Right.
just like, yeah, so is now your time to start dating again? Is this a good time for you to start? Is that what you're thinking? What are you thinking?
Mm-hmm.
Give them plenty of time to talk.
Mm.
and really listen.
Mhm.
And don't be afraid to ask the question that is sitting right back there in your own brain,
Mhm.
but somehow, that's an impolite question. You
Right.
shouldn't ask that question. Oh my
Mhm.
God, how rude. No, 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 no. Ask the question. If your intuition is leaning to asking a question, ask the question.
Mhm.
It will change the entire course of that call.
Mhm.
The entire course of that call.
Wow.
I told one lady and she landed up enrolling, which was great. She was like, "Oh, I don't know if I can do this. I don't want to go into credit card debt." And and we're talking about a significant amount of money for the programs I was talking about. But
And it was paid
she was
paid
like,
in full, that 16,000 most of the time.
it was $4,000 down,
Gotcha. Yeah, still
and
quite
then
a bit.
like
Yeah,
four
substantial.
payments. So I mean, it was
Yeah.
yeah, it was a significant chunk. And I said, I don't care if you tell little Carrie with the dream of being, if you want to tell her to go sit in the corner and be quiet and tell that dream to go sit in the corner and be quiet, that's fine with me.
Wow.
But that's your choice.
Right.
And understand that I want you to do that consciously.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Totally.
I had I had one guy I had one guy and I
Tell me
just
about it.
adore him. I mean, it was such a sweet man. And he was like very, very successful, super, super successful. And he was like, went on about how his wife didn't really engage with him and, didn't ever approve of what he did. And, all this stuff. And like, totally, clearly a dysfunctional relationship, like
Right.
clearly. And I even asked, I said, so is this like two people living under the same roof, but that's kind of what it looks like? And he goes, yeah, that's kind of it. And then we got to the close and he's like, I have to talk to my wife.
Oh, you're like, wait a minute, incongruency detector.
It's like,
You're like, how does that make sense with what you just said earlier, right? So you're always like bringing those things, and I guess you
yeah,
take notes, right, about those
oh
things.
yeah,
Always,
I'm a huge
yeah,
note taker, but yeah,
that's good.
yeah. So it's just like, and they get it. Like when you talk, and it's not sarcastic or snarky, or
Yeah, just
it's just
honest
very
and
calm, and the
authentic.
tone is very calm, and it's just like, well, can you
Yeah.
help me understand? And it's always in a form of a question. So can you
Mm-hmm.
help me understand if you guys have this? You live your life, she lives her life, and why is her approval so important to you? Why does it
Mm-hmm.
matter?
Right.
Now, in my everyday life, if I had asked that question to somebody in a social setting, my mother would have slapped my hand and told me to go, she wasn't taking me out in public for the next year.
Right.
She would have been like, oh my God, you don't say that. Like, you don't say that.
Right.
So, yeah, so really just ask the questions up front and
Mm-hmm.
then celebrate them. Okay?
Oh wow.
Celebrate them.
Mm-hmm.
After you dig out that pain, celebrate them for recognizing it.
Hmm. Interesting.
Absolutely. And this is true. Most people stuff their longings and discontents. They stuff them and they put them in the corner, and then it comes out sideways in your life and it's ugly. It's
Right.
ugly. So when they have finally uncovered and shared with you, which is such an intimate thing,
Of course. Of
they've shared
course.
with you their pain. Throw a party. I mean, celebrate them and say, that was great work that you just did. It's so huge
Wow.
because the more you celebrate them and the more reasons that you can find to celebrate them, the more you can confront them.
Wow, that's so powerful. You just dropped like a massive master key there. Yeah, totally.
So those go hand in hand.
Hmm.
So So yeah, so we've got connect, we've got pain, and then we've got pleasure. What do you want? What does that look like? Like, what does that life look like when you're really doing the thing and living it the way you want to live it? And what
Yeah,
does that feel like? Get feeling words to that.
right.
Get when they're in that frequency of possibility, when they're in that, and you'll hear it in their voice. If you're doing this well and they can do it. And some people, again,
Hmm.
successful people who've had a lot of head knowledge that have been very successful using their heads have a hard time getting to their heart.
Hmm.
So when they get, you may have to ask a few, okay, so
Hmm.
let's talk about one area. What happens? What does it look like when those relationships are really going well?
Hmm.
What happens when that happens? Tell me what that looks like. How does that feel?
All
How does that
right.
feel? How are you feeling? How are they feeling? And get them in that frequency of possibility.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's the side that's going to buy.
So that's
The
that spiritual side. That's like just longing or like desiring to up level, right? That. Hmm.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Hmm.
So the pain that exists in that side, and now you've got the pleasure of what could be.
Mm-hmm.
And the power of hope is unbelievable.
Wow, I love that.
The power of hope is unbelievable.
Mhm.
One of my mentors, Mary Morrissey, says, there are people that live 90 years, and then there are people that live the same year 90 times.
That's a great saying.
So if you can help people get and
Right. Like
believe that
pulling from opposite directions. Yeah.
there's something different,
Yes.
and then it's a clear choice. How
Mhm.
long do you want to stay in this pain? And are you willing to trade this potential, this life that you would love?
Mhm.
What's it worth? Is it worth a risk?
Mhm.
And then it's just helping them believe that you're the person that can get them from A to B.
Right.
Like your system will help them.
Mhm. Mhm. Wow, that's powerful stuff. Thank you so much for sharing that.
So it's super, super fun.
Yeah, no, definitely. You've dropped some things that I'm definitely not doing or not to that degree. And yeah, like thank you so much. I love how you mentioned that going into that pain, it's a gift to them. I love that. So I love that mindset view on that because it's so true. It's like you're giving them something that no one else around their life has even dared to like confront them and unfortunately, as you said, most people will do more to get out of pain than chase what they want or go into pleasure. So when you can
Yeah.
really dig into that like pain and it comes from a genuine place of caring, and honestly I find that's one of the hardest things probably for like good enrollment specialists, care, true care. Because when you're in that energy of attachment to the sale or you want to just get through the call or like even when you ask the right question you're saying the right things, there's like our spiritual bodies or whatever, like we can perceive the subtle and we do not buy that you're actually asking with a genuine curiosity, and that kills it because they don't feel supported, they don't feel heard, they don't feel understood, and all of a sudden you're wondering why, like I did all the right things, why didn't, and it's just like you were never truly like allowing them to open up because there was no true care, right? And I think that is like massive, just to give them that gift, and you can't give that gift from a place of attachment or like tension.
Oh,
It's gotta be with this like attitude of service that sometimes it's so hard to embody.
yeah. I have a saying, it's low attachment, high engagement.
I like that. Exactly. Low attachment, high engagement. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. The numbers are going to happen.
Hmm.
They'll happen.
Hmm.
When I was when I was training in the call center,
Hmm.
I used to say, "This is a privilege. You have a privilege." And we weren't even doing things that were intimate, like, this kind of work that your guys are doing, but
Hmm.
it's like, this is a privilege.
Hmm.
It's a it's this is like stepping out on stage. When you pick up that phone, this is stepping out on stage and saying,
Yes.
"Here I am.
Hmm.
Here I am. And I'm here for you."
Hmm.
And I'm honestly honored that you're on the phone with me. I
Mm.
am honored that you are on the phone with me.
Yeah, just giving them so much value, like so much like respect just as a person for who God made them, who they are, and for even having the boldness to show up, because it's not easy when someone's stuck like that to like even fill out an application or even just show up, right? There's a lot of people that they don't even make it to the call, and like that person now they won't get served, and it's a shame because they might be stuck for another year or two or three, and Lord knows what else would happen, right? So
Yeah.
seeing it from that point of view like changes the way that you just approach sales like as a whole.
Right. Right. It's like, oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God. What if this person doesn't buy? What if my mortgage doesn't get paid? What if the kids don't have lunch money? I get it. I get it. We're all human. We get it.
Of course.
But God's bigger than that.
Yes.
God is so much bigger than that.
And of course.
And He's going to honor our hearts of service.
Mhm.
And the more we show up to serve, the more He's going to bless us. And that's kind of the beauty of being your own boss or being in sales or whatever is, you give Him an opportunity to show up and show up big. And
Mm.
so when you I used to, before I took a call, I just go, let me serve them well. They buy, they don't buy, let me serve them well.
Mhm. Wow, I love that. And is it mostly just on the phone, or do you ever jumped on
Always
video
on
calls?
the
Yeah.
phone. Yeah, all on the phone.
Yeah, on the phone. Yeah. So it's mostly just like listening attentively, giving the space, the pauses, the tonality, like all of that. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just paying attention, really hearing, asking great questions, even the ones that you're uncomfortable with.
Yes.
Uh,
Hmm.
you know, challenging them a little when they need to be challenged.
Hmm.
And that doesn't challenge has a bad, has this kind of really awful connotation to it, but
Hmm.
we used to say love, love, shove.
Hmm.
So, you it's kind of like that kid on the diving board and they're at the end of the diving board and they've been wanting to do this all summer and they're at the end and they're like, "Oh no, I can't do it. No, I can't do it." Like you climbed up, 25 sets of stairs, you walk to the end of the dive. Come on, it's okay. I promise you'll be great. You'll be awesome. And then they jump in and they go, woo! So yeah, I mean, sometimes it's, you encourage them and you love them and you hear them and you challenge them with great questions. And again, the more you do that throughout the call in a
Yes.
loving way, the easier that close is going to be.
Wow.
It's not even going to be a close. It's going to be I've got my 12 weeks for $3,000. We'll
Mhm.
meet once a week. What do you think?
Right.
Let's get you going.
Mhm. Let's get you
And
through it. Hmm.
yeah. So that I'm going to go off tangent here a little bit, but
Yeah, no
that
worries.
word "let's" is huge
Mm.
because it means that I am taking you by the hand and you and me together are
Mhm.
going to do this thing.
Right. It's that
You
support,
are
it's that
not doing it
teamwork.
alone.
Mhm.
We're doing it together. And it also says, especially in an enrollment conversation, it says, you and I are together on this side of the table, and we've got this little issue of, maybe the money, maybe the price tag on this side of the table. Let's figure out, let's you and me partner up and see what we can do. Let's see how we can solve this problem together. Instead of, I don't have the money, but it's this much money, and going through that. So, it's more like, I'm going to partner with you and let's figure it out. Let's see what some of the options are.
Right. No,
let's
I love that
creative.
approach. Right.
And, yeah.
Oh,
And
I
it's
love
just,
that.
and then again, it's not salesy. It's not closing.
Right.
We had a couple people that I worked with who came out of Dan Locke, and I mean, I love Dan Locke, and
Yeah,
he's
exactly,
been
but
super successful and everything.
Yeah, but all the guys that
I could not sit by them. I had to walk away. I was like, how are you doing that? How do you do that to people? Like, I can't do it.
Yeah. It goes now too much on the other side of the energy. Way too masculine. Way too right? Like too choppy. And sometimes, like you said, coaches tend to be more on the feminine or more of like the nurturing, right? And it's a matter of integrating both, of being able to give them that love, like always from that place, but also with like tell me how that's showing up. Like, hey, like what are we gonna do about this? And like, right, and also letting them sit with that pain. So it's almost like this dance, right? Like it's such an art. It's such an art, really is.
And it's such a great conversation. I mean, it really is just a great conversation. And I've used this in lots of different environments, and it takes conversations to an entirely different level when you say, okay, so what are you experiencing right now?
What are you experiencing
that brought you to the call? And what would you love? Like, what would you love?
What would you love? I love that. It's such a powerful question that gets people like reaching deeper into their into their heart, really.
Most people don't know what they would love. Most people know what they don't want. But if you ask them what they do want, they're like, they don't know. They lost the ability to dream when they were 7.
Wow. I know. Sometimes life just
So they don't know.
has a way of doing that, and it's now it's kind of like our job and our duty in a way to in the call help them dream bigger, right? Like help them be like go ahead, like just let's see, what would it look like in this area or that area, right?
Yeah, I laugh with my clients all the time. I'd say, listen, I don't think it's like a freak circumstance that like the living dead and zombieism is like so huge nowadays, because I think 90% of people are walking around like the living dead.
Yeah. Oh man, so true.
I think it's like super reflective of our of where we are. When if we step out and really, even just a little tiny bit, we can make such a big impact on people.
Yeah.
And I mean, how cool is that? Like, how cool is that?
Mm-hmm.
It's it's amazing. And then the last thing I'm going to leave you with, and I'll tell you, and then if you have questions, we can go there.
Yeah.
But last thing is, always do a 24-hour follow-up. So if somebody enrolls with you, always do a 24-hour follow-up and just check in with them, because they made a decision generally out of that spiritual side, which is awesome. And then 24 hours, they have that whole human side is going to come up with all the paradigms and how silly they were and what were they thinking. And oh my God, and and then it's just like, you've got to get them back 24 hours, call them back, congratulate them again, celebrate them again, tell them, about their bonuses if they have, whatever it is. Just really talk about the program and how you're going to engage and how, all the good things that are going to come of it, because otherwise they're going to spin. Their minds are going to spin. Mm-hmm. I had an unemployed actress enroll with me, and she was in LA, and super spiritual. She did, was a yoga teacher on the
Mhm.
side, and was told the whole call was telling me about the signs that brought her up to this call and why it's a good thing and why she should do this, and all this stuff. I'm like, great. The next morning I came in and there were like calls from customer service, and she had reached out like in 25 different directions about
Oh
why she
man, it's
couldn't do
freaking
this and
out,
how
backing
horrible it
out.
was. And, oh my God. And I finally got on the phone with her, and honestly, she was convulsing. Like she was in such a panic, convulsing state. She was doing one of those kind of crying
Right.
things. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God. Okay, okay. And we talked about it, and we logged into the program together, and I showed her all the pieces of it. And and we talked about her dream and all the things that led her up to that, and all the signs that it was a good thing, and all the pieces. And she was like, I said, you know in our case, we were non-refundable, so I was like, listen, you put this money down anyway, so let's stay in here for a month and let's see how you like it and what's going on, and we'll walk through it together. And she called me 2 days later. She was like, oh my God, I can't believe all the value in this program. It's amazing. Everything's great. Everything. I can't believe. And it was just, and then, a check randomly showed up that she wasn't expecting, that
Right.
made it easier and all those things.
Wow.
And so, yeah, so that 24-hour follow-up is super important.
Yeah.
So
No,
make
that's
sure you
something.
guys are doing that.
Yeah. Thanks for that tip. Definitely. No, that's amazing. No, thank you so much for breaking down like just even the pointers you're giving us, because it's true. Like just the ability to carry someone through that process, but making it feel like such a conversation where it feels like it's just this like friendship, this connection, right? Like from just like someone that wants to serve another person and see if it's a good fit, right? Without having to have all this pressure and like you said, that agenda part is so important because then if not, the mind is like, what's next? And they're like almost in defense mode, being like, hey, is the pitch coming? Is the like, right? Relax, right? And being able to set that from the very beginning just like eases,
Yeah.
the tension. Yeah, no, that's really good.
Yeah, it makes it very conversational, and it can be super conversational.
Yeah,
And yeah, it doesn't have to be a stressy thing. It doesn't have to be something that you guys, don't want to do.
right.
Uh, and that's like one of those necessary evils. I love getting clients, but I hate doing a strategy call.
Right, right, right.
It doesn't have to be like that. They
Yeah,
really
just
can
not.
be super enjoyable. And
Yes,
and again, it's a privilege. Oh my
it's a
God, what a
privilege.
privilege.
What a privilege
And,
that we get to do that.
yeah, yeah, you do get to do it. And worst case scenario, I mean, honestly, the worst case scenario, if you're your own coach and you're doing your own enrollment calls, I mean, what a great marketing thing. Like what a great market research you've got
That's right.
at the end of a phone call, which, people spend, I'll tell you, because I used to charge hundreds of dollars to get into the mindsets of people and find out what they're thinking and, all
The
those
pains
kind of
and
things.
there, all these things.
Hundreds.
Yeah.
I think our surveys for the CDC average 60 per collection was $60. So they were paying $60 for the data that we were collecting per survey.
Wow.
So if you get to be on the phone
Yes.
and find out what people are feeling and what people are thinking and what the
Hmm.
most common objections are, and
Hmm.
and what great market research for you. I mean,
Definitely.
so
Definitely.
pretty awesome just if that's all you got out of it.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. No, I love it. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I do
Yeah.
have one question, and it's something that some of the people in this group have asked me before, and I've answered my way, but I'm sure you have a lot more to say, or maybe from your own experience, and way more calls than I have for sure. How do you treat the section of the offer? Time for like telling them what you got and all that good stuff, along with kind of like the price drop or no price? Like, how do you treat that section? Like, super briefly, you can tell us a bit.
Yeah. So again, during the course of the call, you're going to get a pretty good idea of what they're looking for, like what level of your service they want or they're going to need. So if it's a one-on-one or a group coaching or a digital course, whatever it might be, during that conversation, you're going to be able to pre-qualify and get a really good sense of where you're going to make the recommendation and where you're going to put them into. So I would offer one thing, like make a decision. If you're ever in doubt, go for your highest level product.
Yeah.
So always start, if you don't know, like if somebody says, well, I've been unemployed for 6 months and, blah, 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 you might not start there. But if you don't have any great indicators, always start at your highest level product. Because a confused mind doesn't buy.
Right.
So you're going to start at your highest level product and you're going to close them at your highest level product. Okay. If they absolutely cannot, if that's when all of the stuff comes out, which it will,
yes,
that they didn't tell you before.
All right.
And if you believe them honestly, because people get wrapped up in their stories, and I've told people this, I said, now you say you're broke. I've had people that tell me that they're broke and they have $25,000 sitting in a checking account, but for them that's broke.
Right.
So are you broke, or are you $25,000 sitting in the checking account kind of broke? Like, where on the spectrum are you?
Yeah, no, I like that. Yeah, just to calibrate, like, truthfully, like, what are we talking about? Like, more tangibly.
Yeah. So, where is it? Where are you on the broke scale? And then if that really is out of their price range, the line that, again, this is Mary, and I love how she puts this. This is just one of her teachings, is do what you can with what you have from where you are. So if you can't do this, what could you start with? What could you do? Okay. So now you're getting a dollar amount. And that's going to be able to tell you where you're going to drop to in terms of your product offering.
Right.
So let's say you have a $25,000 one-on-one coaching program, okay? And it's cost $2,500 to start, and then whatever you do, okay? So they say, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. Okay, so what could you do? All you're trying to do is get them understand what the first step is going to be. Okay? You're just going to try to engage them and get them engaged. If you do a payment plan scenario, it's not, if they start running in their head about how am I going to do $1,000 a month kind of a thing, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. So you're going to get them into that first commitment. Don't worry about the rest of this. It'll happen, because decision always precedes things coming to pass. You have to make the decision before God answers.
Wow, I love that.
When you make a decision, God answers. If the bridge to your dream was a big white bridge and you just had to run across it, everybody would do it. Right? Right. But faith, which is what this getting to your dream requires, is faith, is taking the step that you can take and watching God show up. Taking the step that you can take and watching God show up.
Right.
And the beautiful thing is that getting to that thing that you would love, that outcome that you would love, is not necessarily about getting to the outcome that you would love, but who you become in the process.
Exactly.
So these are faith steps. So do what you can with what you have from where you are. And if this is the step that you can take, let's take this one. If you can do this, don't worry about that. Well, God will show up. He always shows up. And then share a story about how God showed up. And then bring it back. So if we can do this 2,500, let's get you going there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get you going there. As they say, no, I can't do that. Then just go to the price point that fits what they said they can do.
Right. Wow. Yeah, it's just that first step of faith.
Do what you can with what you have from where you are.
I love that. Yes. Mm-hmm.
God honors action. It's believing action. It's not just believing. It's believing action.
Exactly. Faith without works is dead, right? It's
right. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So take the step that you can take. We're just going to figure out what that looks like right now.
Yeah.
Again, we're together.
Right.
We're just going to figure out where we can get you started. So other than that money piece, is there anything else that would stop you from enrolling today? And again, that question, all things will pop up.
Right.
And then you just, I have to talk to my husband. Okay, so if talk to your husband and your husband's all in and the money, we can work out the money.
Anything else?
Anything else that would stop you from enrolling today?
Right.
Okay, great. So let's figure out what we can do.
Yeah, that's so powerful. Definitely.
Let's just figure it out.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like that process of just like focusing on that first step, on what they can do right now.
Yeah.
With what they have, with where they are. Just that's it. Like we'll cross that bridge when we get there, right? And
of course. Of course. Because they're building their believing muscles.
Right. Yeah. It's like for so long they've been probably a very bad place with like very little faith and a ton of doubt. So it's just like let's go baby steps, and this is the first one, for sure.
And again, it's really important for you as coaches, and this is why this is really important for you if you're the coach and the person enrolling. If you're
I am.
The one person shop there is, as a coach, you're going to ask them to do things that are uncomfortable.
Yes.
You're going to ask them to change. Change is always uncomfortable. You're going to ask them to think about things differently. You're going to ask them to take responsibility for their own life. You're going to ask them to do a lot of things. And if they're not willing to take a step that they can take, then it's probably not a great match. And they're probably not going to get the results that you would love them to get, because when you tell them to do something or give them a suggestion, they're not going to do it.
So true. Right.
And of course, you guys have tons of flexibility being the coach and enrollment person. I mean, you can adjust things however you want to adjust them. We would do fast action discounts. So if they stepped in on the call, they would get discounts. We would discount paid in full. We would discount the payment plan. So, I mean, you guys have tons of flexibility that you can make things happen.
Right.
If you want to.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, it makes it easier. But yeah, always start at the highest. Always find out what they can do, and then just customize the offer from there.
Yeah, exactly. No, I love it. Do you normally just recommend people pitching everything that they get in the program, etc., or again also making it like as a conversation?
And that's really tricky. People don't care what plane, if that's United or American or United Arab Emirates airplane that gets them to Hawaii. They just care about getting to Hawaii. Right. I mean, right? So it's the details are not. I don't think the details are critically important. I mean, if they're and the minute that they start switching into that
more left like side,
that you're going that we got to get them back to the dream. We
Right.
got to get them back to the pain and back to the dream.
Right.
And so, just if it's a 12-week program, just say, hey, so I've got a 12-week group coaching program. It's amazing. We've had these great results. I tell them us 2 or 3 stories about people who've struggled with the same thing that they're struggling with that have
Right.
gotten, great results from you.
Mhm.
It's 1 hour a week, probably about an hour of homework a week to do, a couple hours a week. And you're just going to love it. It's just what you need. It's exactly what you need. I know that this is going to be life-changing for you.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
we're going to get you to that beach in Jamaica with that house, as quickly as possible.
That's right.
And again, that's the power of knowing the dream and the vision.
Can grab from
In
you,
the
right?
front end is you're going to bring it around in the back end. So, one of my favorite questions, because we would do really general, dream categories,
Yeah.
is, okay, so are you, where are you living in the front end? So where are you living? Are you living in the same place that you're living now? No, I'm living on the beach in Florida. Okay, so tell me about that house. What does it look like? Like, what does it really look like? Okay, blah, blah, blah. And what's your favorite place in that house? Tell me about your
Wow.
favorite spot in that house.
Huh.
And they go, packed deck by the pool, on the patio next to the pool overlooking the ocean. And so in the close, yeah, I was, okay, so, there you are. You're on the patio, you're sipping that tea, you're looking at the sunset over the ocean, the kids are playing in the pool, and Ken is barbecuing burgers on the deck, and how's that feeling to you? How's that feel?
Mhm.
Oh, that's all. Yeah, it feels awesome. Well, let's get you one step closer to that. Let's get you one step closer.
Mhm. Let's get you one step closer. That's such a powerful line. Mhm.
So yeah, no, that not. I wouldn't do.
Yeah,
I
it's like,
wouldn't
oh,
do.
hey, here's what you get, like this, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Just like people
Oh yeah,
tune
no,
out.
the laundry list. And then again, you've got, it's a whole different energy
Right.
than, hey, it's you and me. We're having a conversation. How cool is that?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
It just feels
like,
like you're chatting with a friend and you're disclosing all these cool
yeah,
details, and it just, yeah, totally different dynamic, right?
yeah, yeah, and you'll feel it in your own. You'll feel it if you switch. If you go in that direct, you'll feel it in your own energy.
Yeah, you're right.
You will absolutely feel it in your own energy. And so, yeah, just stay in their heart. Stay in their heart, and ask them. Do you? Again, the beauty of being the coach and the enroller, but do you feel like we've had it? Is this a good connection? And ask it in the front end of the call.
Right.
Uh, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, where's your comfort level right now?
Hmm. Yeah, very valid for sure.
Oh, okay. So you're 2. Okay, so what's making you feel uncomfortable? What are you afraid of? It's a powerful question. What are you afraid of?
Very powerful. Hmm.
Because you're either going things are actions driven by fear or faith. That's it.
That's it. Yeah. Oh,
So
I love it.
what are you afraid of? Huh, huh, all right. Awesome. Let's talk about it. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Wow.
Really, you're loud and obnoxious. Okay, great.
Yeah, like at least we can agree on something.
Okay,
Mm.
I got it.
All right.
Got it.
Oh man, it's so good.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Kathy, thank you so much. You've dropped an innumerable amount of like really good pointers and things that I'll be adopting for my own like calls and stuff like that. Because yeah, a lot of the things you've said, like I've learned through failure, and some things I've never even implemented, to the level of detail, to the level of depth that you do. But it's so important, because when you just overlook and you just want to move through the script or move through your framework, like you do not reach that connection.
No.
And then there, and when that piece is not there, it's so hard to to be a genuine and again, not just the moment because you're making them feel bad or good, but that sticks because it was genuine, that actually is, they're not freaking out, like you said. That's why you're suggesting the 24-hour follow-up, so that it also makes you sure, like, hey, I'm still here, like, let's do it together, like that. Okay, like, just keep affirming, like, one step, one step, one step.
Yeah,
So good.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely. Well, you are just a joy, and I can't thank you for giving me the opportunity. And
oh,
people
it's
can
so good.
DM me if they have any specific questions, but I'll certainly try to jump in the group or get into there. If you have questions, I'll answer them there, or however it would easiest for
Yeah,
you guys. But
yeah, for sure.
just
Yeah.
you're just a joy, and what a
So are
great
you.
thing
Thank
you're
you so
doing.
much.
What a great thing you're doing. So awesome. I'm so excited we got connected, and
Yeah, me too.
I would
Me
love to
too.
stay connected.
Definitely, definitely. And yeah, just before you go, I'd love for you to share, like, what's in store for you, right? Like, what do you see ahead of you now, obviously, with this new launch that you got going, and where do you want to take this? How big, how wide, how, tell us
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks.
Mm.
Well, I believe that we're going to be a $3 million company in a couple of years. And so Heart Solutions, and we are going to be helping people with their enrollment calls and how to have wonderful enrollment calls, and also help with their marketing. So we're super excited.
Mm, I
And
like
just how to, you know, to have you guys all got into this business because you have an impact to make. You have you want to change people's lives. How cool is that? Like,
so cool.
how cool is that?
So cool.
Like,
Yes, it's so cool. Like, sometimes we forget how cool it is, and it's
yeah,
cool when I can feel that, like, same, like, energy, right, from it.
yeah,
It's like, yes, like, we get to do this. It's so amazing. Yes.
yeah. It's awesome. It's awesome. But the only way you get to do that is if you can get people connected to you and get them enrolled with you.
Mhm.
And so, to the degree that we can help you, we help the world. And we love that. We absolutely love that. So, yeah, we're going to do $3 million or bust. That's what we're going to do.
Boom. Done. Done. Amazing. Yeah. It's like, ask us if it's already yours, right? As if you already receive it, and I love that.
It is done. It is done, done, done,
Done.
done, done. It is done. How
Amazing.
about you? You told me a little bit about some exciting things you're planning. So,
Yeah, this 2019 has been a year of a lot of inner work, a lot of meditation, a lot of just sitting, discovering, like, a new level of relationship with God and where He wants to take me. And I really been led to create almost like this new type of event that I don't really see many people out there creating, but I want to, be able to create this transformational events that have the highest level of business, yes, but also the highest level of, like, spiritual and transformational, like, type of work. So I can integrate, like, powerful tools like hypnotherapy, NLP, breath work, like, things like that, mixed with, like, hey, how do we create, like, powerful but also, like, meaningful businesses where people can really, like, live their true calling. I believe God has called every single human being on this planet for a specific reason. You were born for a specific time, for with the technology that we have, with the features that you have, with the background that you have, with everything, right? And the more that we can embody that true calling and be, like, aligned with the will of God, which it's never wrong and it's always perfect, the more that we'll live, like, the most abundant life ever. And I just love that so much. So now it's time to step a little bit out of my home into now, like, more in-person engagement. It's been a good ride working behind the computer a lot and behind a lot of these calls, but I'm now being called to, let's hug people, let's connect, let's hold hands, let's sing together, let's create atmospheres of change in different kind of rooms and events. And so yeah,
I
this whole theme I had inspiration with the theme of like children of God, like coming home, right? Of like of calling out their most divine like God and goddesses like within each and every one of us to step into their divine kingdom, into exactly what we are meant to do. And so yeah, I'm really excited for that new chapter of 2020. And we'll see where things go, right? It's always like this mix of excitement with like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? I'm freaking out, and you just gotta buckle up and enjoy the ride.
It's going to be awesome, and what a great vision. And you're the guy, so it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. God's got this, you've got it. It's all good.
Let's do
It's
it.
all
Let's
good.
do it. Yes.
So I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, my dear, thank you so much again.
Thank you
I
so
love
much.
that vision, and your community is fantastic. And thank you them for indulging me. I think I went a lot over what I was supposed
Honestly,
to.
time has flown like any other call I've had in a while, right? I'm just like just losing track of time. I'm like so immersed in what you're saying. You're dropping so much gold. Like, yeah, no, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to do this and connecting with me. I know that we'll be in touch soon, and we'll hopefully be doing some cool stuff together, some magic together. And so yeah, please feel free. Please feel free to drop your links. And guys, like if you want to connect with Kathy, if you're having trouble with your enrollment calls, if you maybe need a sales team too that you can train, and you can kind of up level all that aspect, which is so important for your sales process, for your business to really grow. Please make sure you contact Kathy and like connect with her. Such a lovely human, such an amazing person. I'm so glad we connected, and yeah, I can't wait to do this again.
I know. I'll drag Val on here the next time. It'll be awesome.
Yes.
Thanks, Andre.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Awesome. Yeah, we're out of Facebook now.
Oh, that was super fun. You're so great.
Yeah. No, thank you. That was so good. You dropped some like bombs that I've paid thousands of dollars to get, and not even to the same degree of like depth, and you're right. There's so many times where like as you were talking, I could think of moments in some of my calls where I was like, I was afraid to go into more detail because I just felt awkward. Like I didn't feel like asking what does that house look like, because at the time maybe I was like falling into like a little of scarcity mindset. And so I thought that maybe they'll think that it's manipulative that I'm asking like so much in my head, right? And as I'm hearing you, I'm like, yes, like it's all about just coming from that true place of curiosity, true place of care. And like, yeah, no, you are definitely amazing what you do. And like, one of the things that as I'm thinking on your launch, I have a few people in my network that are in the process of like scaling now, trying to get into like, okay, team building and delegating their sales process, and hopefully they're willing, I'll be doing some of that too in 2020 as well. So definitely let's keep in touch. I think there's a cool opportunity to do stuff.
I would just love to stay connected because you're awesome. And
you're awesome. Thank you,
if there's anything that just throw me on your team. If there's anything I can do, I love it.
Down. Yeah, no, same here, Kathy. Whatever you need, we're a team here, and yeah, let's support each other in whatever way we can.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I cannot tell you what a joy, really and honestly, what a joy. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thanks.
So amazing.
Yeah,
we'll talk soon.
We said hi.
Yeah, I will definitely. Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk soon. Thanks, Andre.
Thank you, Kathy. Bye.